articles. I'll start with you, number one, favorite mo yan, di ba? Contracting an assassin and plotting to murder. I mean, I'm sorry, because it's so ridiculous where in the whole world you find a vice president openly threatening to kill the first family and the speaker. And then people are saying, wag na tayo mag-trial, mapag-iwanan tayo ng ASEAN. Yung mga ganun charot, or hindi naman natin makakayan yan. Yung mga like, this is a banana republic if you don't do anything about this, right?
Last time I checked, the office of the president, the office of the vice president, hindi mo rin makakain. Diba? Pero importante yung mga yan, di ba? So hindi naman lahat, wag na natin tama na yung mga drama na yan, di ba?
Well, kung malaking confidential fund na piatos, pwede mo kainin yan. No?
Going chichir yan. No? So, pero yung Article 1, very clear yan, no? Ito yung basta, ma'am, wag kang mag-alala sa security ko. Di ba? Basta, pag may nangyari sa akin, meron na akong kinausap na tao, napatayin mo si BBM, patayin mo si Lisa Araneta, patayin mo si Martin Romualdez, and then...
No joke,
ma'am, no joke. And then he said yes. Yan, di ba? So ang sabi dito sa Article 1 is very clear, there was a contract to kill, whether or not there
conditional.
was kahit na may condition, kahit na may suspensive condition, it does not distract from the fact that he engaged somebody, an assassin, to kill the first family and the Speaker of the House, the highest officials of the land, and most importantly, di ba, apart from that, is very, very much illegal yan. Siyempre, diba, contract to kill.
Anyone,
right?
actually. Yeah.
And most importantly, siya yung main beneficiary kung namatay sila. Because ang trabaho lang ng Vice President sa ating Constitution ay mag-antay na may mangyari sa Presidente and she should be ready to become President, di ba? So, very highly improper. Siya yung main beneficiary. There's, I think, motive there. And the strongest, in rules of evidence, di ba, the strongest form of evidence is declaration against interest. Di ba? At tanggaling mismo sa bibig niya yan.
Just to be clear, this is the same person that months earlier said designated survivor siya. So, ilan milyon ang ginastos natin for extra security because we're heading to the SALN soon, right? So, like, I don't know ano yung palusot nila dito. But let's go to Article 2, which I think is even more interesting. And feeling ko mas resonant sa tao yun. Dahil, unfortunately, nasanay na tayo sa mga Dutertes making open threats right and left. Graft and corruption and misuse and malversation of confidential funds appropriate to the OVP and DepEd. So, may resibo nito eh. Medyo hindi ata kaya ng isang batalyon yan. What is your read?
Well, hindi na ipaliwanag yan. During the House of Representatives meeting, naglabasan ng ebidensya, nagtestify yung mga kawani ng DepEd at kung ano-ano mga kababalaghan ang na-unearth doon sa hearings. May mga lumabas na pangalan na
Miggy Mango, Kasim,
Oishi.
Piatos.
Shell joke, no? Hindi ko na shell joke.
Tingin ko overwhelming yung evidence at talagang I think yan yung kinakatakutan of all dahil hindi lamang siyang involved, maraming involved at documented. Yun ang pinaka-importante dito, documented, and even our auditors are saying that the transactions are highly questionable. So this falls squarely under that ground in the Constitution, which is acts of graft and corruption. It is a ground for impeachment. So that scale of corruption that was committed in a record 22 days really is impeachable offense.
Tsaka ang dito, scandalous dito, di ba, Star, is yung hindi lang yung liquidation di ba? Yung liquidation, sige, fine, di ba? Sabi ko nga doon sa Napoli scandal, ang ginawa daw is kumuha sila ng mga nakapasa ng board exams. At yun yung liquidation. At least yung totoo mga pangalan. Ito, I think from the 1,600, 1,300 doon, walang birth certificate. Walang record sa Philippine Statistics Authority. That's first.
Right.
Secondly, so questionable na. Tapos yung mga pangalan niya, Miggy Mango, Kasim, Uishi, lahat chinichiri.
Or same signature, different names, same signature.
Pareho yung penmanship.
You're right.
Pareho yung penmanship ng lahat ng mga liquidation, tapos parang pareho lang yung mga pumirma. And worse is, di ba, sabi nga, 125 million of that, ginastos ng 11 days. Actually, hindi 11 days kasi 4 days noon ay holiday. Christmas Eve, Pasko, Rizal Day, New Year, at 16
Hindi ko gets yung logic nun kasi pwede ka naman mag-hotel lang. Mahal na holiday. Like, but efficient. What we're saying, efficiency ate.
1.6 million a day yata supposedly doon sa liquidation nila ay ginastos for safe houses. within 11 days. So kung mga pumapatak yan, yung 16 million, pumapatak yan around 1.5, 1.6 million every day. Ang question is, sino mo tinagod mo sa 1.6 million na ginagastos mo every day? Saan mo tinago? Sabi ko nga, sa mga kaibigan ko, mga 100 kaibigan ko, ilibre ko kayo lahat sa Okada Hotel. Doon ko kayo lahat ilalagay 100
sa MacArthur
rooms,
Presidential Suite.
Sama natin MacArthur Presidential Suite. Hindi tayo aabot ng 1.6 million a day. So 20. Di ba? Parang kahit ng 15,000 or 10,000 a night na lang. Sabihin mo sa isang hotel, di ba? 100 people, 1 million lang yun eh. 1 million lang yun, di ba? Kaya ko kayo lahat libre. 15,000 a day, dilibre niya. Sino yung tinago mo at nilagay mo lahat sa 5-star hotel? Okada Hotel or di ba? Sa Manila Pen,
baka Abu Dhabi to, Burj Khalifa, Dubai, ganun.
Medyo scandalous eh. Scandalous na ganun ba yung tinatago
Garapalan
mo?
medyo.
So, what's the point? The point is, and this is I think painful for a lot of Filipinos, no? They are saying always na kailangan yung meron tayong i-uphold natin yung security, nire-recruit ang mga kabataan sa CPP, NPA, kaya kailangan ng confidential funds ng DepEd, di ba? Tinatry nila i-justify yung, in the name of national security yung actions nila, pero sa totoo lang, kinukuha ang pera, hindi nililiquidate na maayos at tinatry nila i-justify yung mga actions nila. Pero, ang magtataka ka, DepEd, Office of the Vice President, mas mataas ang intelligence funds kaysa sa Philippine Navy,
Coast Guard, sa gitna ng laban sa West Philippine Sea.
Sa laban ng West Philippine Sea, gusto nila mas mataas ang DepEd at Office of the Vice President pagdating sa confidential funds. Hindi naman sila frontliner when it comes to security. It just doesn't make sense, no? Lahat ito ay convenient excuse para kuhanin ang pera ng taong bayan at in a brazen way, hindi man lang finesse. Bakit kaya
allegedly, di umano.
Pero bakit kaya brazen, no? I think it's because nasanay na sila na ginagawa ito sa Davao. Tandaan mo, magkano raw ba yung confidential fund sa Davao? 33 billion.
They invented confidential fund
for the office of the mayor, di ba? So ano lang tong 600 million na to kumpara dun sa 33 billion before na inubos supposedly ng pamilya Duterte at wala nangangahas na mag-check sa kanila. Bakit? Takot kayo. Mamamatay tao eh. Di ba? Di umano. Talaga Richard, no? Di umano. Mamamatay tao. Di ba? So, syempre, tatakot kang questionin. Right? And then, alam nila na walang mga ngahas. Kaya, brazen na yung pagkagawa. Mag-invento na lang tayo ng mga pangalan ng chichirya.
Can I disagree with you? Kasi last time I saw, Davao voted for a cardboard mayor. And yung isa nga booking ng may tinetretan, manalo. So, I don't know.
Masakit sa akin yan.
It's the will of the people.
Ko yung cardboard ni Laila del Iba. Kaso hindi kami nanalo.
I'm just saying.
Buti na lang nanalo na kami ngayon.
I will never forget yung certification time ni Digong, nagpalakpakan lahat, ganun. And like, the guy is in detention, literally, as we speak. But let's go to number 3, Article 3, bribery and other acts of grave corruption in violation of RA 1319. Attorney Star.
Tiyatay sa DepEd eh.
So medyo similar, di ba? Medyo similar yung mga kapalpakan natin nakita. So actually 2 and 3 you can put them together. And then number 4,
yung procurement, by the way, yung 500 million pesos na supposedly for digitalization ng Department of Education. Ibig sabihin, in educational crisis na nga tayo, kinakailangan na nataasan ng standards ng education, kailangan na mas maraming classroom, kailangan na mas maraming textbook, kailangan na mga bata ng laman sa laman sa tiyan nila bago sila pumasok para makapag-aral.
Just to be clear, 17 million daw sa mga recent graduates na medyo may basic functional literacy problem. Just for people to realize how deep and profound the education crisis is.
Tapos dodoktorin yung 500 million supposedly na procurement para sa digitalization na iiwan na nga.
Ito yung yung USEC na sabi niya may 50,000
niya talaga.
Now I remember the exact case. Yun yung exact case.
Who happens to be a member of the defense team? Si Yusek Monsayak is one of the listed defense lawyers.
Siguro para hindi na siya makuha sa pina. Bakit sa play,
It's
That's
possible.
An interesting...
para hindi na siya masabina. May lawyer-client privilege siya. He can't testify against
that's an interesting mafia
move.
Exactly. There
that's
are
an interesting
two
situation.
USECs, at least two USECs.
Yung isa,
who are listed as members of the defense team.
Interesting.
Kaya nga interesting like when you look at the composition and all of that.
Right. And kaya masakit pa to, Richard and Dino, is, hindi ba sabi nga, it only takes 200,000 to build one classroom. Can you imagine kung ilang classroom na sana na itayo doon sa ginamit ng mga pondo
Visualize
sa...
dapat yan.
Yeah,
That's what should be
Ilang
visual.
classroom ito, ilang teachers na mapapasweldo, na kulang
Correct.
na nga, di ba? Ilang textbooks ang pinag-uusapan.
Yung mga laptops,
diba?
yung mga laptops.
Mga laptops.
Isang kaibigan na merch. 7
ilang-
designs. Yung isa may owl na malaki, yung isa may agila na malaki, yung isa may owl na agila. Ano naman, may 7 versions. Sara Green, Sara Red.
Ilang libro sana yan na may isang kaibigan.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ano ba yung pinapakita?
Na napaka, tabang utak ba yan? What's the term for that? What is that a political correct term? But this is where, and this is what at least Justice Carter would argue, this is the crux of the issue, right? Amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interest in properties in her statement of assets and net worth, SALN. Puya ka siya. Mukhang yun yung medyo...
It's gonna be interesting, no, Star?
Kasi
lalo na yan.
si Justice Corona na-impeach because of that. Si Justice Sereno was also impeached for allegedly failing to file her SALN in certain years. So, ganun kahalaga. Isipin natin, dokumento lamang to na fina-file ng mga government employees. But if 2 past Chief Justices were actually impeached on the basis of
so yun yung magic
non-filing
bullet?
Or yes.
Yun yung ano.
Well, I've attempted
Definitely.
to ask for the SALN of President Duterte from Ombudsman.
I remember.
And,
sa
the
gitna ng
Dutertes.
pandemic when everyone was scared as hell.
So si President Duterte at si Vice President Inday Sara. But unfortunately, the Office of the Ombudsman, ang first memorandum order niya is hindi na pwedeng ma-access yung SALN kahit na very clear in all laws, including the SALN law, including yung administrative code na may right yung people supposedly to access the SALN of people. Pero dito, kaya siya I think magiging dramatic is because ipapasabi na yung bank accounts.
Patay.
And ang sabi, based on the AMLAC report, kasi tandaan mo inimbestigahan dati ito ng ombudsman, kasi tinanggal nila yung deputy ombudsman before, through Trillanes.
Yes.
Tinanggal nila yung ombudsman before, pero nakuha niya na yung AMLAC report at 2 billion pesos. 2 billion pesos yung pera dun sa bank accounts na yun. So pag nasampina na yan successfully ng impeachment court,
Yari
I think that's gonna be a damning
bloodbath.
piece of evidence.
Yun ang bloodbath.
Yun sa akin malinaw yun eh. Sabi mo nga natanggal dati si Justice Corona. Hindi lang dineclare yung SALN, tapos nalaman natin may dollar account na 130 million ba?
Right.
Paano ba itong 2 billion? Yun nga, nag-deposit nga lang yung Verifiles recently.
Na-verified siya.
At clear na nag-exist ang account at ang account is named after Rodrigo Roa Duterte at saka joint account Sara Duterte. So kahit napag samahin mo yung pera nila, sweldo nila kasi wala naman supposedly negosyo ito mga ito. Hindi ka
gobyerno, negosyo daw.
Ginawang negosyo yung gobyerno, di ba?
Di umano.
2 billion pesos. Paano yun? Paano mo papasok sa bank account mo yun? Alam mo kung ano pa yung dyan, lalabas, no? Ang sinasabi is, yaan ay dineposit ng mga drug lord.
Patay.
Ng mga drug lord
Pogo.
na pinoprotektahan at Pogo lords. Pero drug lord nga. So, yung show na they are anti-drugs. Pero ang pinatay
anti-corruption.
Na pinatay puro mga puslit, maliliit na mga tao, sambayan ng Pilipino, wala ni isang major drug lord na nahuli. At ang masakit pa dyan, di ba, meron yung 6 billion, 2 beses.
Right.
6 billion shipment
in container.
Sa container
funds
nahuli yun, na hindi, sinabi nahuli, pero hindi na-recover. Tapos biglang nawala na lang. Tapos one was prosecuted. It validates yung theory na actually under the payroll.
This is the Trillanes theory, just to be clear.
The Trillanes theory, yan.
Now, this is a merger consolidation corporate move, basically. That's the Trillanes theory, basically.
Correct. But again, kaya nga interesting tong part na ito. Pagka nasabi na yan, saan nanggaling yung pera ninyo? Saan nanggaling yung pera ninyo?
Mahirap i-justify.
Actually, Dino, one of the things I'm looking forward to then is kung anong dapat gawin ng Anti-Money Laundering Council dito. Kasi graft and corruption is one of the predicate crimes, di ba, for money laundering. At anong ginagawa dapat kapag merong suspected acts of money laundering? Ang Anti-Money Laundering Council po ay may karapatan or may authority na mag-apply ng freeze order from the Court of Appeals. So it would be interesting when the AMLC will act on this. It's definitely one of the predicate crimes, bribery, graft, and corruption. And this is not just ordinary graft and corruption. This is graft and corruption on a massive scale. So it is important, I think, that the funds, whatever remains of it, should be frozen kasi pera ng taong bayan yan eh. Hindi naman pera ng mga Duterte yan. So, interesting and I hope the AMLC will look into the matter.
Iisang bank account pa lang yung 2 billion na.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Accounts are there.
Marami yan.
Rabbit hole yan. Let's go to the next one because this is interesting because it could have an ICC adjacent or ricochet effect, diba? Which is the high crime of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Some people are saying that we have to even look at her time even prior to her assumption of office in VP because Davao is the biggest city by land area and one of the biggest cities by population, biggest in Mindanao. And she was mayor and Tokang was like, last time I checked, fully embraced by her during her dad's time. What is your read of this? Could this spill over into other terms of office?
At least the information that we have now is ang testimony na ginagamit dito yung kay Matubato at yung kay Las Cañas, no?
The super insiders, core
Yes,
people.
and that's the reason why, under investigation Duterte, si Rodrigo Duterte,
Sa
kaya
ICC.
nga siya naida na sa ICC.
Yeah.
Ang most crucial part doon are the testimonies of of Matabato and Las Cañas. What does that mean? It means that if the ICC found it as, credible enough to proceed with the arrest and with the trial of Rodrigo Duterte, tandaan natin na sa impeachment, hindi nga proof beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Diba?
Mas mababa yung quantum.
Mas mababa yung quantum of evidence required.
Right.
Some say it's just substantial evidence because it's quasi-political, quasi-judicial. Miriam Santiago proposed before that's overwhelming preponderance of evidence. I don't subscribe to that. No, sa akin, substantial evidence kasi administrative lang ito eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Tatanggalin lang sa posisyon.
Hindi naman siya
Diba?
makulong.
Hindi naman siya makukulong.
Yeah.
Hindi naman siya,
Right.
wala namang right ang bawat isang tao sa public office, di ba? Public office is a public trust. Hindi mo karapatan na mamanatili